This is Karnveer Mondre, the Chief Ideation Officer at Atharva Marcom, and you're listening to the future of branded content marketing and PR, co-powered by the Branded Content Marketing Association.
So hi, Maurice, and welcome to the webinar. With me, Karnveer, and as you know, we are doing it in connection and in collaboration with my company Atharva Marcom and the BCMA, which is the Branded Content Marketing Association, and we always like to explore new ways of being a more successful marketeer, social media professional, and generally being more active on the in the space. And images are very important today, as you probably realize more than me that images can really influence a person in terms of how he connects to you, whether he connects to you at all, and so on. So tell me a little bit about your background and your perception and what you've been doing, and let's take it from there. Your experience about images and how you think a person can have a good image for his social media.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Maurice Jager, and I am a portrait and headshot photographer, predominantly working in Europe. I got into the business of photography because I was like working in an office. I did a lot of like CMO jobs and did a lot of internet marketing and project management jobs. And at some point I was like kind of like getting bored with it. I was like, I'm stuck here in this office. It's like, I feel I can do more. And then I went on YouTube. I checked out some videos of some photographers, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I find this person in New York who's shooting headshots from actors and models and everybody, like getting all these like nice images to go into castings. And I think like, this is pretty cool. And we don't have that much of an actor scene over here. So I figured like as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you are more or less in the same boat when it comes to making a first impression right. So I adapted what he was doing to the corporate market and to the entrepreneurial market. And I've been running around shooting people's profile pictures and headshots ever since. And that was really the way for me to like really go into this business. And we are now 7 years later, and all I do is take headshots and help people with their branding needs. And branding, like a headshot for me and the profile picture, if you will, is very much like the gate to get people into your content. Because like your profile picture is everywhere, and if the profile picture is used in an article or on a social profile, that's probably the first thing that people look at. And there's actual studies that show that people spend the most time on a LinkedIn profile, for example, looking at somebody's face and seeing if they trust the person and if they feel like the person can do the job before they even go into like what's your experience and all of that stuff. So
what do you think? What do you think in your learnings of people's profile pictures? What do you think are the key things that people are doing wrong, and what do you think they can do right?
Okay, so a couple of things that I noticed from past clients is like one of the things that I personally hate most, if you will, is when people just chop off their significant others from wedding photos because they feel like, okay, I have a nice suit on, I have a professional photographer take my shot, so let's just get rid of my husband or wife and just use that picture. And I've seen people
do that. Really?
There's like a floating air on the side of the picture where the significant other used to be in the shot. So it's like, it sucks. It doesn't work. And I think for a profile picture, like, and stuff like on vacation, like people in front of like fancy buildings with poor lighting and shots where there's multiple people in one shot, and you have to like really guess, like, okay, which one is who? You know, it's like, am I talking to this person or am I talking to the other person? Like that stuff is confusing, and that stuff is just like not really the way I would approach it. And to turn this into like something positive, I think like there's a couple of things that you can do and a couple of things that you can do easily. For one is like your face has to be the brightest thing in the spot in the image. So if you're taking a picture, even if it's with an iPhone or whatever cell phone you're using, like if you're facing the window and just shoot, take a picture of your face while you are facing the window, preferably without direct sunlight, then you're already very decently on your way. Then obviously you can go to a professional photographer who knows how to light up people's face, but that just to like get started, that would be a really nice thing to do.
Okay. Any other tip?
And then it comes down to like expression, and just don't look at your camera like you're looking at a camera. Like there's a lot of the work that I do is based on reaction. So I don't ask people to smile or do something if I want a certain expression. What I do is I say something that invokes that expression. So it's based on reaction and not on like, can you just like give me a smile or like stuff like that. That doesn't work. And if you want to work with your own cell phone and take a picture, like you have to think about something different than you pressing that button when you take that picture. So think about something that you feel like you want to convey in your picture, and that will usually generate an expression that you want in that picture to be able to convey what you want people to know about you.
Okay, that's an interesting angle actually, because normally most photographers just say, cheese, or smile, or not so big a smile, or that's too big a smile.
I can't deal with that. It's horrible because because it gives you the impression that somebody asked you to smile, and it always looks fake. Like there's like muscles in your face that only work when you actually genuinely laugh. And when you're just like asked to smile, like all you do is pretty much show your teeth.
That's so correct. Yeah.
There's no, like the eyes don't spark. There's nothing actually happening except you showing some teeth. Like we're not at the dentist here, people. Like, come on. Like
that's true. So what else can that's an amazing a tip for people, and I think it's going to change a lot of people's photographs around the world. What else have you learned? Any more tips? Wonderful tips that you can give to people? I mean, what about people who have low self-esteem? I mean, there are people who probably think they're not the fittest at that moment, or they're not probably looking that they're dappiest or their suits are not the sharpest. Does all that matter? How do you improve all the aspects of a person's picture?
I think a lot of people are self-conscious when it comes to being photographed or being in front of a camera. But I always feel like if you are walking around like this in public, then why do you care so much when there's a camera pointing at your face? Like I'd rather look ridiculous on a photo that I can delete than me walking around ridiculously shopping for groceries. It's like a lot of that like insecurity and that people have like low self-esteem about how they look is only generated because they are very like they know the camera is there, and they're very like sensitive to, oh my gosh, this apparatus, and like it's gonna like freeze time and everybody will see it and everybody will have an opinion and yada yada yada, all of this. And especially as an entrepreneur, and as if you are taking your branding serious, then you want to get used to like getting your face in front of people. Like that's the only way you can run a business, right? If people know who you are.
Correct.
So you have to go out there and you have to really like show your face and give people the opportunity to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that live, like in a live audience, then it's not that big of a step, or it's maybe even a smaller step to just point a camera at your face. Like everybody's doing all this stuff with the Instagram stories and with LinkedIn Live coming up at some point, and everybody's doing video marketing these days. And like it's I think that is where a lot of the value lives these days as an entrepreneur. Like you have all these opportunities to get people to know you, and the only person that is holding you back from actually doing that is you.
Uh-huh. So agreed. So what I'm hearing from you is that we need to be confident about who we are, and just face the camera like we would walk down a corridor, or face. But are there anything that we need to do to actually, or we could do in the short, medium, or long term to improve? Fitness could be one. Do you think we should choose a certain kind of shades of colors, or for our clothes, or are there any other things that we could do over a longer period of time? Suppose we want our profile shots to be better over a year. So is there something consciously we should do, or practice, or even our way of presenting ourselves, which we could change?
Excuse me. I would make sure that my clothing fits.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of things that I hate. One of them is when you have a proper dress shirt and a jacket, like from a suit. When there's room between the color of your shirt and the color of your jacket, then that looks very wrong and weird, and there's like issues with that. Make sure if you were a tie guy, just make sure that your tie is all the way up, so the top button of your shirt is not showing.
Right.
And if you are a little heavier in the weight department, then what you could do is, like, everybody has the capacity to move their head independently from their body, and by that I'm meaning moving it forward and back. So if you're keeping your back straight, like, you can move your forehead and your face in general towards the camera, which feels very ridiculous. But what that does, it will attract or make your jawline cleaner, because all this skin that is usually just like hanging down, you will pull that against your jawline, and then you just tilt your head a little bit down, so your chin covers some of that stuff that didn't get rid of while you moved your head forward, and you're off to the races.
Wow.
And one thing, don't shoot down on yourself. Like, if you hold your camera up, like how all these like fancy over retouched or like crazy filtered pictures on Instagram are, like when people shoot down on themselves, that's not a good move, because then you make yourself little, and everybody that's looking at that shot will belittle you and who you are, and think less of the service that you offer. So always hold your camera on like face eye height.
Oh, interesting. Because generally the advice that I have read is to hold it slightly higher, so that because they say don't hold it lower and don't look down into the camera. So I think the opposite is also true. So don't look up into the camera. I mean, eye height is what you need to do.
Yes, you want people to actually be an even partner with you. And if you let people look down on you by holding your camera up, then you're putting yourself below the other person. And if you hold your camera down, that means that you look down on everybody. So that gives you a little bit of an arrogancy that I don't think you need. Wow. So holding it like on eye level, and then work the way that your head is positioned in regards of taking it more forward taking it back or just like angling it slightly down, but keep that camera on the same height, then that's the way to go.
Wow, that's a lot of good tips actually. What about you? Do you have any tips for, a lot of people are doing video blogging nowadays, and vlogs and things like that, or even giving press interviews which may be on video. Do you have any experience, like tips for that, or people who you have seen speaking on video, how they could get it better?
I believe that video is a nice way for you to get your story out there easier, because like you're talking what you believe, which is a lot easier for a lot of people than writing it. And video has the benefit of giving you expression, tone of voice, and all the stuff that like makes you approachable and likable in the way or about the things that you do. And I think people should do it more. I think there's a lot of apprehension to shoot video because everybody thinks it's kind of weird. Same as with the photography, I guess. Like everybody thinks it's, oh my gosh, I'm so weird. I'm not a 22-year-old vlogger doing whatever. But I think if you want to get ahead of the herd, you have to go at it and do it. And then there's some technical things like I have a thing for like very shaky video. I'm like, I don't know. And audio should be good. So there's a couple of different options that you can get to just hit an external mic in your iPhone. So it's more directional audio. Like the worst thing there's like two things that can go wrong, like bad video and bad audio. And I'd rather have bad video and just listen to the audio and make sense of what's going on than the other way around. Like if you want to do it real good, like make sure that your lighting with the phone or camera or whatever you're using is above average, I guess. But if your audio is not good and I have no idea what's going on in that conversation, then that's worse.
Actually, that's really interesting you say that, because like as a person who does podcasts, and we do a couple of them, one of them, this conversation is going to go on as well, which is the future of branded content marketing and PR. People generally don't focus enough. They don't realize how much bad audio is a put off. They don't focus on it enough. They use omnidirectional mics and things like that, and I don't think they give it enough focus when they're doing video recordings.
Yeah, I think if you are focusing on busy entrepreneurs like yourself at some point, you're going to be talking or marketing to a lot of people who just click a video and then go check their email or do something else, like not necessarily looking at the screen, but listening to the audio. And when the audio is not audible, or there's a lot of static, or like I have no idea because the volume is soft and the people are further away, I have no idea what's going on, then I don't have a reason to listen to that anymore. And I think at some point, like, okay, this can happen once, but if somebody listens to the same thing or another thing from the same person the second time and the audio still sucks, then I think you're going to lose that person as an audience.
So do you have any preference for a particular brand of mics or something which work with the the phones and which fit well?
I am invested in Rode, so I have I have a Rode mic for my DSLR cameras when I'm doing video for people. I have all their stuff, and there's one of them. I think it's the Rode Video Mic Micro or something. It's like a tiny microphone that you can pretty much like stick in your lighting port in the iPhone.
So we're partners on that, because I use the Rode mic as well, the one that fits into the tiny mic that fits into your earphone jack. And
I have all of them. I have the big ones. I have the wireless mics with the lavaliers. I have the iPhone thing, and like audio needs to be good. Like like if you have to invest, if you have like $100 and you can only invest in one thing, make sure you have audio.
I agree with you. I so agree with you. So we have a kind of literally 1 minute or 1.5 minutes left. So what about how do people get in touch with you? Like some of them may be coming to Europe, or where are you located, and how do they reach out to you? Email, phone? How do they get these amazing photos from you and get you to click them?
So if you type in mauricejager.com, you'll end up on my website. I am based in Arnhem, the Netherlands, but I work throughout pretty much continental Europe and East Coast United States predominantly. If anybody has a nice gig that gets me to fly to a place that I've never been, feel free to reach out. I love to travel. And LinkedIn works very well. Just like type in Maurice Jager, Jager, and I should be one of few that pops up. And feel free to connect, reach out, send me a message, and let me know what you think about this interview. I'm always happy to have conversations with people. So feel free to reach out.
Perfect. So people around the world listening to this, if you want to get one of the best photographs for your profile picture and make sure that people look at it and instantly want to connect with you, you got to speak to Maurice Jager, and Jager is Jager. That's Maurice, Maurice, and Jager. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find him or if you Google him, he has a website. So Maurice, thank you for all these tips. I think you've changed a few lives around the world. Great talking to you, and all the best for the future. I look forward to being in touch.
Thank you for having me. And have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Branded content marketing is predicted to be at the heart of every marketing strategy, and there is growing evidence that there will be a significant shift in budgets to support it. However, there is still confusion as how to do it, who should do it, and how it is measured. This podcast brings to you the knowledge, the skills, and the secrets you need to take you to the absolute cutting edge of branded content. This podcast is in partnership with the BCMA. The BCMA is the global industry body for branded content practitioners, run by practitioners, promoting best practice, sharing knowledge, and growing the branded content industry. To know more, go to the BCMA. Go to www.thebcma.info.